Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Microsoft Pulse. Today is the Tam Tom Show as Jennifer and Adam are busily working on other things. Exciting week for you. We have count them, two whole items on the updated information, on the updated roadmap. So, Tom, why don't you go ahead and, well, I guess I'll start because I'll start with in development. It's broken down into in development, rolling out, and launched. But because we only have two, we have one in development and one in launched. Then we thought we'd go ahead and give you our predictions for next year.
Or this year.
Oh, or this year. Good point. All right. So, in development, coming out in January 2023, is Microsoft 365 Admin Center Forms Graph API. So Microsoft is introducing a new Forms Graph API set to help you track Forms activity user, and user detail metrics for Microsoft 365 usage reports. That's coming out worldwide to the commercial tenant and GCC.
That's probably a really good thing because like if you're doing Power Automate stuff, the forms options are really slender. So I'm glad they're finally putting some more thought into Graph API, which I'm assuming at some point might end up, working its way out into Power Automate steps that you can do a little bit more with forms and stuff that comes out and things like that, responses. So that's cool.
All right, skipping over rolling out because there's nothing there. Let's head on into launch with Tom.
Yes. So this had a release date of September, but actually that's probably legit. I don't know why they're just putting it in launch now. But the Microsoft Teams video clip feature. So video clip is a new feature in Microsoft Teams that enables the user to record, review, send and view short, lightweight video messages in Teams chat from desktop and mobile. It works well. You're only allowed to have like 1 minute or less. You don't have the ability to go in and do, lots of fancy stuff or give your backgrounds. It's pretty much turn on your camera, talk for a minute or less, look at it. Yep, looks good, send it. And that's about the extent of it. I'm torn on this one because I think that you're going to have some people like, oh, great, I don't have to type anything. So all the messages you start getting from them are going to be these video clips. And I am not a fan of watching videos on a regular basis. I would much prefer see what I need to, look at, take action, move on. But this is good, like if you've got a team chat with all the people in it, and you're the supervisor and you want to say, hey, everyone, I wanted to wish you happy holidays, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Really good for those kind of things. Or if you're just trying to send out a message to the entire team and you want it to be a little bit more visually appealing and catch attention, that may work really well. But I would just caution you not to think, oh, great, I'm never going to send another text type chat again, because you're probably going to irritate some of the people who you're trying to communicate with, because it's going to take longer to watch that 1 minute video than it is for me to read the text that you probably had to type in. So just keep that in mind. And that's the entire roadmap for this week.
Okay, now it's time for predictions for the upcoming year. Tom, do you want to go first with your prediction?
Sure. Looking at things that really caught fire and not just, not in the Microsoft realm, and that is the whole chat AI and the whole art thing where people are able to go, hey, give me a poem in Shakespeare style about Microsoft 365. And this chat AI, in a matter of seconds, puts a poem together that is honestly really, really good. And then you're seeing the same thing on the artistic side where people go, hey, show me a male figure made up of balloons, the type of animal type balloons. and it comes up with a series of pictures that it's created. And some people are upset because it's like taking bits and pieces from, artwork that other people have contributed. So I get that whole thing that you may get some theoretical copyright violations and stuff like that going on. But the fact that this artificial intelligence is getting to the point where it's getting harder and harder to learn what's a human behind the scenes and what's just some code that's throwing stuff out there. Google has gone so far as to go, red alert on this whole chat AI thing, because it's giving answers to things that aren't just, you did a search for this word, here's the results. It's more like, here's some context, and contextually, I think here's what you meant, and I kind of packaged it in a really nice thing. And I think Google is looking at it going, this could be a threat to our search. So if you look at all these things that are occurring in that space, you've seen Microsoft do more and more with it in terms of saying, hey, I'm going to give you quick little responses. Choose one of the 3 that I just put up on the screen. You just click that and boom, there you've got your response. I think you're going to see more and more of that come from Microsoft this year, especially in the team space, because they want you to do everything within Teams. And I believe that there's going to be more and more of an ability to say, here's what I want to do, help me do it. Very similar to the whole Power Automate data format thing, where it's like, okay, I've got this field, here's what I want it to look like. So I use the last name, comma, first name example, and I've got this field, but I want it to show up as first name, last name. So I give it a couple examples and say, hey, let's test it. And it comes out with the formula that allows you to get to that first last name format. And you didn't have to come up with it. That is really awesome. And I believe that's only the beginning of where they're going to be going with that kind of stuff. Where you can say, hey, in fact, they've even got the second part of that they came out with was, give me a workflow that for a new SharePoint item, when created, it sends an email to this particular group. And it sits there and thinks for a couple seconds, and poof, here you've got a Power Automate that has the steps to do pretty much just that. Now you can build on it from there, and it's not going to, take your specs, I don't think, and come up with this big, highly complex workflow. But the kind of things that a typical business user who isn't in IT might be able to just explain, hey, here's what I want. And it's going to get better and better at saying, okay, here you go. And those easy, quick things that we do in IT are going to be pushed more out to the business side, leaving us time to do the more complex things. So I think you're going to see the whole AI, which has been a big thing anyway. I think you're going to see it kind of go into hyper mode this year. And you're going to see some things come out that are going to be a little stunning, I think, when they hit. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that is, because it'll make our lives in IT better, because it's like, I can just get a nice starting point here. And it'll enable us to push more things out to the business with us not having to do everything for them.
Great. Thanks. I think what we're going to see in the new year is we're going to see Viva really take off, because it's become more mature. It's more caretaking of the employee. And I think with rising healthcare costs and workman comp claims that go into stress-related issues around work are really going to be not completely mitigated, but mitigated by Viva. It's commute times, it's meditations, it's here's how much time you've had in meetings. Information is really going to help people take control of their day, or at least be informed about their day,
Right.
and make wiser choices about what they do to get that work-life balance. So I think, especially in larger companies, we're going to see Viva take off. Maybe not in the small companies, because it is still kind of expensive for a small company. But for a large company, I can see it really making some sense.
Well, and I think too, being that I work for, health insurance firm, one of the big focuses that's happening, at the firm level and also at in the industry level for,
Mm-hmm.
health and well-being is the whole behavioral health concept.
Right.
And the fact that, everybody talks about, oh, we need better mental health care and the whole bit, but it was really hard and people weren't doing anything concrete. And it was more like, well, we can put them in, this inpatient thing, and like, that's not going to work. But with the fact that more and more appointments are now being able to be done like this, virtual, and you're able to have people see therapists on a virtual basis. They don't have to go somewhere and sit on the proverbial couch for an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. You're seeing a lot of emphasis right now put on behavioral health. How do you meet these needs? How do you handle all the stresses that are in society? And yeah, Viva at a company level can be something that's very concrete that a company can say, hey, we're providing benefits in the mental health arena, the behavioral health arena, and allow them to start understanding that no, I can't go 15 hours a day and commute and be a parent and do all these other things. At some point, you have to scale that back and say, what is that healthy proverbial health life balance or health work balance? So I agree with you.
Great. Well, that's all we have for this edition of The Pulse. Tune in next week when we hope to have the entire crew available to go through the roadmap, and hopefully there will be more new items than just two. So thanks so much and have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.